All right, hello and welcome to today's episode of the Work at Home Rockstar Podcast. Super excited for today's guest. He's an international speaker. He's got 50 million views on YouTube, which is amazing. He's from Australia, got a ton of energy. I'm excited to talk to this guy. His name's JJ. Hey, JJ, you ready to rock?
Let's roll, man. Let's bring the energy to your people today. Whoever's listening, wherever you're at, listen, you better get ready because I'm going to give you moves that you can use today.
Love it. Love it. So let's start off on a good note then. Tell me a success story in your life or business.
Sure, man. Being able to speak in over 30 countries, do some of the biggest events in the world. I remember when I got booked to fly to India to host their brand new Audi R8 when that launched in Asia. And they flew me over business class. When the room service came, I signed it like a prince, because I felt like the man. I got to host this event, for up to 500 people. And it was just me on stage controlling a crowd having them in the palm of my hand. So that was a big time. That was a big sort of my first massive international event where I felt like a rock star.
Absolutely. So then, we all, with the success also comes some of the struggles. So, what about failure? Tell me a bad note that you hit in your business and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, man. I tell this story to people all the time. Like probably one of the biggest mistakes I made for a long time of my life is, and I have this analogy, it's like we're all in the jungle, right? As an entrepreneur, we're all in the jungle wanting to do something, to achieve something. So I'm in the jungle, right? All alone by myself, right? And I could see in the jungle this island. It's that perfect island you can think of. It's white sand, boats, people partying, alcohol, the best food, and you're in the jungle all alone with no food, very little water, right? And you got to get out. That's how the entrepreneur life can be, right? And for so long, I was doing it by myself. Like I could get out, but I didn't really know. And along my journey, I try and do it. And then eventually you get tired of doing it by yourself. You find a map, right? You see a map on the floor and you're like, well, I know this guy who's over in that island made it. Maybe if I follow his journey and do what he does, I'll get out, right? But we all know everyone's journey is different. You just can't copy someone else and just expect it to work, right? So I'd used this map and obviously it took me a little bit faster, but then what happened is his journey is different than mine. Then it took me further back in the jungle. And then I hit a point in my life in 2017 here in America when I came here where I just was tired of like trying to use someone else's map and trying to use do it myself. And I hit a really rock bottom. That's when I did things I didn't want to do. I became this person I didn't want to become until I had to put my hand up and say, I need help. Like I really need someone to show me like, how do I get to the next level? And that's where you ask for a tour guide. That's when you ask for a coach. So I'm in the jungle all alone. I said, I need help. And then that's where I found the tour guide that's been there before, that understands what I'm going through, that's done it. And I literally paid him my money, paid him my, time, and he took me out and I got to that island. And, that was the biggest thing that I struggled for a long time, of not allowing someone else to coach me, thinking I had to be this young ethnic guy that my dad told me to be, that you got to do it yourself and you don't ask for help, right? Because you're a man, right? Which is completely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment that I allowed to let go and go, I don't know, can someone help me? Is everything. It's just like this light came into me. So to your question, I think it's like allowing someone to show you where you need to go and allow a tour guide to guide you,
Yeah, well, and I think there's a couple things there. Like the first thing is that, grabbing a map or grabbing doing what someone else has done to get you so far, it also might not get you the full way because we are all different people. So you're right. You need to sort of do what feels right for you. But then the next thing is, you got to a point where you're kind of stopped and then you needed to find a different person to help you. Or was it the same person? I don't even know. But, I think oftentimes we have to, look for help, find mentors and all that stuff, but also not necessarily take it as gospel and do every single thing that they do. You can make things your own, right?
So absolutely. Yeah. And, but allowing whoever's listening right now, like you're not alone in however you feel. Like, oh, you don't understand how I feel. Everyone has gone through what you're going through. And especially as an entrepreneur, self-doubt. Is this right for me? Maybe I shouldn't do this. What will my wife think? What will my husband think? What will my girl think? Am I going to survive? I can't do this anymore. Rejection. Every point that you felt, someone's gone through multiple times over. So allowing to reach out to them and go, hey, what can you guide me with? And I'm not afraid, man, to ask for help, right? That's the other thing too. Whether the person gives you 100% of the info you want, you're not looking for it. You're looking for that one little bit of nugget to get you through the next day. Well, that's a good move.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That aha moment, right?
Yeah. But
And
it takes time too. Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say it takes time. Like, you're not looking for, people sometimes look at that perfect information. It's like when people say, what's the secret to success? Dude, there isn't one, right? Because if it was just one, then wouldn't we all be doing it?
yep.
It's just not one way.
Yeah, everybody's got to find their own path, right? And especially now that we're all living in this new world where a lot of people are quarantined and all that stuff. How do you might feel alone? I know. I've been working from home for a long time, long before COVID hit, and it can be kind of lonely when you're sitting just in your home office trying to get your work done. So how do you get out there and meet people that are could be your coach or could be your mentor or could be your peer?
Yeah, great question. So what I recommend everybody is use the power of the internet, social media sites, because there are communities that people are interested in the same thing you are. Facebook groups is a really, really powerful move for this. Facebook, working with Facebook and Instagram now, because that's what I do with my agency, and we can speak about this later, they're very, 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 they put all their energy and all their time into communities. The reason why, from a business point of view, is because they want you to stay on their software, stay on their app, stay on their program, right? So they put a lot of energy into bringing people together. So using these tools to be able to find people that are interested in what you're doing and start making conversation. I understand it's challenging now for people to go out and go to events, and you and me, my man, we are the performers. We want to go do live events, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's challenging. So use the power of these groups to hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. Let's have a quick call, right? Maybe there's a way we can help each other. And I think when you come from it with that authenticity, people can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you're saying there, finding groups, because, you can use those groups for two purposes. You can use groups to find people that can help you in your journey, and you can also use those groups to find fans, which we all need fans. We all need people, looking at our stuff and, potentially wanting to connect with us for business purposes. So, how do you go about doing that? Is there a different strategy for looking for mentors as there is for looking for fans?
Yeah. So, mentors, you've obviously got groups where you can, and I haven't searched for this, but, I'm on Facebook, but, I'm sure there are places where you can look for specific mentor groups or coaches, free coaching advice, or looking for specific coaches. But fans, the way I look at getting new people to be interested in your work, try and do an interview or try to do something with someone who already has a list, who already has a group of people. So as a musician, for example, you're a musician, do a song collaboration with someone who's, got a group of people that might be interested in you. Or if you're an entrepreneur, right? I would start by if you can interview someone, if you're doing, now you're going to get my list, right? Now you're going to get my people. Or, I would even go in how can you give something? What do you have a value to give someone else for free? In return, they will probably share it with their people. So, for example, if you're a speaker right now, and because I used to coach speakers, you speak on mental health, right? Especially with what's going on now, you could go talk to anyone, any psychologist, anyone a doctor, anyone in health. Hey, I'd like to speak. I'd like to share some of my wisdom with your group about what I've learned in my story. I think this can be valuable. That's so great. And then they bring it, and you might just get one fan from that. That's how it starts.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. And, it is, I think, difficult, especially when you're just getting started, you're struggling to make some cash, when you're like, oh, I have to give this away. But, it's been said over and over again, you really do have to show that you care about other people in order for them to care about you. And, what better way than to give them some free tidbits and, have them connect with you that way, right?
100%, man. Yeah, 100%. I think, to give your people some moves right now, and it's not the sexiest information I'm going to tell you, but it's going to take time, guys. It's going to take time. Like this, I live here in LA, right, in Hollywood, where everything's quick and fast and, go, go, go. But, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, even for me, as the guy who likes to get things quick, you got to be patient. So it ain't going to come to you in a day, or a month or a year. So you got to just keep consistency, putting in the hours, outreaching.
Yep, absolutely. So talk about cash flows. Talk about how to, fill the hat. How do we make sure that there's money coming in, as well as this free information going out?
Yeah, man. So I was saying to this before we started, like another massive mistake I made for so long was I was doing what everyone was telling me to do. Like I was, getting up early, putting in long hours, working, right? But then I looked at my bank account, like, why am I still broke? Like, why don't I have any money here? Like, why can't I even go out and have a nice dinner? Like, something's not working. Like, you try and justify it because it hurts. Well, I look good. I sound good. I'm really good. You know, I write really well. I play really, man, I wasn't doing the income producing activities. I wasn't focusing all my attention on things that were bringing in cash flow. And I know it sounds really obvious when you say it, but even for myself every day, I say this to my staff, like how much time we spent on meeting new customers, talking to new people, sending our promo material out or our press pack out or our pitch deck out. So, that's the guys, it's really important, your business, you need cash to run the business. You know, you don't run the business by likes on Facebook. You don't run the business by likes on Instagram, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, and that's really that's great, because I think a lot of people end up in that boat where they're doing things that they're comfortable doing rather than doing things that actually generate the income, right?
Man, I totally get it. Like, and I want to say this too. Like, I love when I get to do these podcasts because I'm not telling you because I know better. I'm telling you because it reminds me. Like, hang on a second. Like after this, it's like get back to the phone. Get back to meeting people because I know that if I spend 90% of my day doing that, it's going to generate income, which I need to help run the business. So the reason why we don't do it is that because it's painful. Dude, no one wants to really get on the phone. Like it's a lot of energy. You're going to get rejected, even for someone like me and probably like you, who've probably made a few phone calls in their life. Dude, no, I'm human. I don't want to get rejected, but I know that it's just part of the game,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like getting into a cold water shower. When you have you ever had a cold water shower or like you're gonna get in cold water? Like I got to do it, and it's gonna be a bit painful, but after you do it a little bit, it's okay. It's that mentality.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? I think it's important for us to even have this conversation and let people know that, even today, I know you're a performer, I'm a performer, you know, every time I go out on stage to play a show, I still get a little nervous, and that's normal. I've been on stage. I've been doing it for 20 years. Like I think it's important to know that sometimes like I run these open jams, and I allow new musicians, new people to come up on stage, and they're nervous, and I just tell them, you know what? I'm still nervous today. You just got to push through it, and it's so funny how. In my life with the music thing, I get someone up on stage, they perform for their very first time, and here's the magic: is that as soon as they get off the stage, they want to get back up on. It's one of those things where you're so scared to get up there the first time, but once you do it, you gain that confidence. Confidence comes from just surviving that attempt, right? And I think that with income generating activities, things like, making those sales calls, those are terrifying, and they still are today. It's just, but the more you've gone through, the more you can talk yourself into it and go, okay, I know this sucks, but yeah, I have to do it anyway. I'm going to do it. And you pick up the phone and off it goes, and you end up getting a sale, and it's fantastic, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I thank you for sharing. I think it's important to constantly keep reinforcing that. It's like like this hasn't changed in probably centuries, right? Just there's a different way about it. But like, guys, like if to keep it, I like to keep it like logical for a lot of people. Like, you don't have to think you have to be a Jordan Belfort and get on the phone and do 500 calls a day. If you can do, like I always tell this with people I coach, like make it easy for you as well. I don't want to make it so big that you don't do it. So like I always tell people, hey, if you can spend like 9 to 11 every morning or something, just doing some outreach, that 2 hours every day times, let's say 5 or 6 days a week is what's that? 12 hours a week, right? Times 4, right? That's nearly 50 hours, right? Is my math right? But you know what I mean, right? So
Yeah.
like, think about that 50 hours of outreach to people. You're probably going to get some moves there, right? Or you could spend 50 hours of, working on your new website layout. What's going to work better here? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
you're
Uh,
you're in the business as an entrepreneur to live the life you want. That's why you chose this, guys. You didn't choose this because entrepreneur is sexy. No, you're doing this because you want to be your own boss. Most people are doing this to have the freedom. That's why people get into this. I want to choose what I want to do. I love that.
yep.
So what are we going to do today to be able to have that? You got to do these activities.
Yep. And I like what you said about doing it in the morning. I think that's a really important thing to say. Just as an exercise, take some time, get a piece of paper, write down the things that actually make you money, the income generating activities, and try to schedule them early in the day. Because that's the thing, you'll procrastinate and procrastinate. You put at the end of the day, oh, I did this and this and this. I deserve a break. Your mind has lots of ways to talk yourself out of your.
Yeah. To heal the pain.
Oh, it's such a tough thing.
We're lazy creatures, man.
Yeah.
I don't know who the big man upstairs made us, but like this, we are lazy beings. If it
Mhm.
pain, you know,
Yep. Which is why number one, schedule all your most important activities as early as possible, and number two, find some sort of accountability partner,
right?
whether it be writing everything down in your journal and having paper trail of it, or actually getting a mastermind group or something like that, something where you have some sort of accountability to other people. Even if it's your wife, I don't know. I mean, just you know
What, whatever.
anything that you can say, this is what I did today, because you know what, I've been in that boat before where, I've gone to my accountability meeting and had nothing to do. You know what? I'm going to pick up the phone, make a couple of those calls right before I go to that meeting, just so that I can say, oh, I've only made 2 calls today, but that's better than 0, right?
Right? That's why I tell people like, hey, try get some movement in the morning. And I say movement, not gym. Like go for a walk, go to the gym, do some push-ups. Because you get that done in the morning. For me, I'm like, now I don't feel fat anymore if I have chips in the afternoon. If I have a
Mhm.
little burger, I'd say, well, at least I worked out.
Absolutely. Right on. So let's talk about your business then. Let's give you your guest solo. So tell me what it is that you do and what it is that you've got to offer.
Sure. Well, guys, being an entrepreneur and realizing that, yes, you can be putting out the activities of getting on the phone and doing those things. But if no one can see you, right? If you're unseen, right? It's going to be very challenging for you to get known. So if, my job now is to work with entrepreneurs and get them from the shadows into the spotlight, meaning get you influence online. They say now it's not as much about the talent or the looks or who you are. It's about attention. If you can get people's attention and keep it, now you've got them. Now you can move them. But most people can't even get their attention because they're not seen. You know, you might be out there going, hey, I've got the best thing. I've got better than all these guys. I've got the best website. It's the best marketing. Great. But if no one sees you, it doesn't matter. You're lost. You're like hidden behind a curtain. You're right. And all these people are in front of you getting seen, but you need to be get seen. So my job now is to get you known using social media platforms. So through LinkedIn, through Facebook, and especially through Instagram. And we do that by getting your numbers bigger. Because if you have 50,000 followers, everyone thinks you must know something. And I hate to say it, but that's the way the world works,
Yeah.
right? And to give you a perfect
Perception.
example, right? Give you a perfect example. I was traveling in Minneapolis, right, in America, and I wanted pizza, right? And for some reason, I don't know why I didn't Google it, but I was just down the restaurant. I said to the Uber driver, I said, hey, take me to the to like the main restaurant strip, right? Because that's what I like. I always traveled a lot. And I said, just take me there. And I walked and I chose a pizza place. I said, where's the pizza place? He goes, oh, there's a couple up there. I said, okay, cool. I walked up there and funny this, there were 2 pizza places, one on the left side, one on the right side. One had like 5 people, right? Didn't look that great. You know what I mean? Like there was no energy. The other place, like 50 people, music, everyone was smiling. What did I choose? I chose that place. Now, I didn't even know how good the pizza was, but because they were seen, there were people there. They looked like they're having a good time, right? And that's the same thing with your brand, right? So that's my job now, to like literally give you the moves so people can see who you are.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good information because I know that I can't even think of very many entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs, at least, that, they spend so much time trying to perfect a product before they're ready to launch it, right? It just has to be perfect before I'm ready to get started. And then what, they find out is that there's another guy who they call a hack
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
making tons of money doing whatever it is. And they're like, that product, but they're out there getting seen. That's the point, right? I mean, the best time to get started in your business is probably yesterday. Just get out there and start doing things. And then as things move, then, you're probably going to change your product by the time it gets to the end. It's a matter of just get started, get your name out there. And then, if you really, you have a passion for something, obviously you do, and you're working on a product for it. So whatever you have right now is probably good enough. It'll evolve as time goes on, but getting
yeah.
seen is the most important thing, I think, right?
Yeah, 100%, man. Like we all know, I love you said that. The amount of guys, I'm like, how did this guy do it? But this guy's firstly, he's annoying and it's a bad product. But that's also driving to me. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I should shut up. I should go, what is he doing that I'm not? Oh, he's promoting. He's advertising. He's in everybody's face, right? Okay, maybe I need to get some advice from him or I need to learn from him, you know?
Yep.
So, and as you know, being a musician too, you know how many great guitarists there are in their bedroom, right?
Yeah.
But no one sees them, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How many entrepreneurs that are just like super awesome, but you don't hear about them because no one knows them. So that's what I realized was the big issue coming from me firsthand, that the more people that knew me, the more chances and opportunities I had to give what I did a run for its money.
Okay. Well, I'm sold. So tell me, where do we find out more about how to get seen?
Yeah, yeah. Is that Visa card, Visa, MasterCard, or American Express?
So tell us, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, man. Look, let's keep it real easy. Instagram at JJ Live, JayJayLive. You'll see me on there. Send me a DM from today, right? I saw you on this podcast. Send it to me, and I'm going to look after you. I'll give you a message back, and I'll send you something really cool.
Perfect. What a great time, JJ. This has been a lot of fun rocking out with you today.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. And to the listeners, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Work at Home Rockstar podcast.